I'm back here at the United Palace Theater in Upper Manhattan in Washington Heights, and I am here with the singular Nathan Lane.
Great to be here with you. Gorgeous theater.
It hasn't been a movie palace forever, but it is one of the great movie palaces in the country. We've reached the back half of the double feature that you programmed. We opened with Double Indemnity from 1944. We jump forward 30 years from 1974, directed by Roman Polanski, Jack Nicholson, and Faye Dunaway with John Huston in Chinatown. And this is a movie that gets better every time you see it, and you understand more every time you see it.
Yeah, it's a complicated plot, and that's how character is revealed. It's all through the plot. Apparently, Robert Evans, when he read it, found it incomprehensible.
Yeah, he'd already agreed to do the movie. He loved it. He loved the idea of it, but when he read the screenplay, which was quite long,
yes, much longer.
Yeah, he was baffled by it. And I would actually urge people who maybe have never seen Chinatown to don't get discouraged if you can't follow something. Like, all you have to know is this is about bringing water into the desert, because Los Angeles is in the desert. I think 11 Oscar nominations. It won just a single one for Robert Towne's screenplay. But we've since learned that although Towne, no question, one of the finest screenwriters of his generation, but he did have some help here on Chinatown.
Well, this was brought up by my dear friend Sam Wasson, who wrote a book about the making of Chinatown, The Big Goodbye, which is not only about the making of the film, but sort of the end of that era of sort of more personal movie making before the blockbuster.
Yeah, when the beginning of the end of the new Hollywood.
Yes,
yeah, right.
Exactly. But yes, he apparently worked with this gentleman.
Edward Taylor.
Edward Taylor.
Yeah.
Remember that name. Edward Taylor was, very involved, and they wrote things together, but he was sort of, he was uncredited.
And I presume willing to be uncredited.
I think he was.
Would have been nice if Robert Towne.
It would have been nice.
Yeah. And the director, Roman Polanski, himself maintained that he rewrote much of it, well, not trying to take credit for it, at the same time acknowledge that it's this Robert Towne screenplay.
Even the score was a last-minute thing where Robert Evans saw the movie with another score and thought it was horrible, and went to Jerry Goldsmith's house, knocked on his door, and said, "I need you to save my movie."
And he did.
And he did.
Yeah.
I mean, that theme with the trumpet, apparently he said to the trumpet player, "Make it sexy, but they're having bad sex."
This is one of those films where when you read that Robert Evans was quite as powerful a producer as there was in 1974, wanted Jane Fonda, but Polanski wanted Faye, Jane Fonda would have been wonderful in the role, there's no question, but difficult to imagine anybody else playing Evelyn Mulwray.
There's that great shot of Jack Nicholson opens the door and she's standing looking out the window, and it's just her silhouette. She's enigmatic. Yeah. There's no questioning her talent. And her beauty. I mean, some people were just born to be on the screen, and she was one of them.
Well, I'm judging only on the basis of one afternoon and an evening, but if this is how you go about your work, I'd say you'd be lucky to get through a whole day.
Actually, this hasn't happened to me for a long time.
And one reason why you might find that this feels like it was written for Jack Nicholson is because it was written for Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Robert Towne constructed this story with the thought that his friend Jack.
They were great friends, and also it was like going to be a trilogy. This was about water,
the other one,
oil, and land.
Right, the big three.
The big three.
The big three. All right, Nathan, let's take a look at the movie. We'll come back.
And the fourth one was ice cream.
That I didn't know.
They did not get.
They didn't get to that one. Let's watch the film more with Nathan Lane when we return. Here it is from 1974, directed by Roman Polanski, Robert Towne's script, Jack Nicholson, Faye Dunaway, John Huston in Chinatown. That's an ending, and that is a great, great, great last line.
Oh, absolutely.
And it tells me, I thought, that means that in that longer screenplay that Robert Towne submitted, there must have been more to Chinatown than just the few allusions we have to this is where clearly, as when he was a cop or an investigator for the district attorney, Nicholson didn't play ball.
And it led to a murder on that occasion as well.
That's right. So someone he was trying to protect was killed. I imagine that was fleshed out a little more to have the big last line be a part of the city that we haven't really ever seen until the final moments. The end, what Robert Towne envisioned and what Roman Polanski envisioned were quite different.
Yeah, apparently he wanted a happier, for lack of a better word, a happier ending, and that Faye Dunaway would survive and Huston would be killed. But Polanski.
Los Angeles had to represent a terrible place to him. It's his wife and
Absolutely.
and his unborn child murdered.
Sharon
Yeah.
Tate. So he really wanted that bleak ending, which I think was the right thing to do. But I'm sure it was hard. And today they would have fought against it.
You're right.
Sure.
You still want, especially when we learn that what she has been through for her entire life.
Yeah.
Right? Like she's earned the right to go off to Mexico or anywhere.
Yeah, and you think, why didn't you just take her to Mexico? You know, why? What was that? He was trying to, I don't know, stay 3 steps ahead, or that always gets me. Like, why didn't you just get her to Mexico?
Why didn't you leave Thursday? Right?
And how creepy is John Huston?
Huston, who was one of the great directors of his era, but really this reminder of what a fine actor he was.
It's also just a presence.
You may think you know what you're dealing with, but believe me, you don't.
There's the history of him having directed The Maltese Falcon, that connection to film noir. That's an inspired idea to use him in that particular part.
Chinatown is a near perfect movie. It may be a perfect movie, but there are a lot of things like, why didn't you leave Thursday? She could have left early, right? And
why is Fred McMurray wearing his wedding ring? And
why is Fred McMurray? And what did Jack Nicholson think he was going to do by revealing everything he knew about this case right then, when the goon is right there who you just beat up? Like he's like, yeah, just take the glasses. And Nicholson's like, oh, I should have I should have left him in the car, or something. Like, you don't need to give away the...
Well, how about just the bandage? When you initially see him bandage and you think, how are we going to get through the movie where the leading man has that on?
Nicholson got a lot of praise, and justified, I think, that this was a pretty big risk. He's a giant star, and he spends about 45% of the movie, maybe more, with this Band-Aid that isn't just covering the nose. I mean, it comes up.
You got to be more careful. That was really smart.
Only when I breathe.
I think that's a sign, not that we needed a sign of how great an actor he is, but this is one.
Well, it's like a big metaphor, I guess, for don't stick your nose into Chinatown business.
Right. So when you were asked to pick 2 movies, did these immediately come together as a double feature? Did you think, I'd love to have Double Indemnity, and then you add Chinatown?
I took some mushrooms, and then I threw darts at a wall of film titles.
Yeah.
I just thought the connection of, first of all, Raymond Chandler, and, Chinatown is always called Chandler-esque, anything connected with old Los Angeles.
By the way, it's from 1974. This is a great period piece. I mean, this is making this look like...
Although it's the 30s as seen through a lens of the 70s.
Still works.
Because I think it was discussed that I think Evans maybe wanted it in black and white, and Polanski was like, no, I want to see the colors. I want to see the textures of the land and the whole thing. And I think that's what makes it special.
But you didn't...
So it was that connection, film noir. This is sometimes called neo-noir, although now I think it's aged into full-blown noir.
It's 51 years old. It's not neo anything. Yeah. Nathan Lane.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure.
Thanks for being here, and thanks for supporting TCM.
Anytime.
Nathan is done for the night, but the movies, of course, continue on TCM, and as always, they are uncut and commercial-free, so stick around.
Next on TCM. Sorry, wrong number. Then June Bride. And later, The Bride Came COD. TCM gives you the facts of wife tonight.